You keep waiting for life to hand you the perfect moment. But guess what? It's not coming. Not tomorrow, not next year, not when you're less busy, not when you feel more ready. That fairy tale you've been sold, the one that says everything will just line up for you one day, is a straight up lie. You think sacrifice is pain? Nah. Pain is sitting in your 50s, 60s, 70s, knowing you could've, would've, should've been great, but you didn't make the damn sacrifice when it counted. That ain't pain, that's regret. And regret cuts deeper than any sacrifice ever could. Pain from growth is temporary. It passes, it heals, it builds muscle, but regret, man, regret lingers. It infects your memories, it haunts your nights, it whispers what if in your ear until you go numb from the inside out. And too many of you are sleepwalking through your lives because you're scared to sweat a little now. You keep telling yourself you'll start next week, like next week ain't just another graveyard for dreams. You keep saying you'll try when it feels easier, but easy doesn't build anything worth having. You want the freedom, the money, the health, the respect? Then pay your dues now or pay double in regret later, because either way, you're going to pay. What you sacrifice now creates what you hold later, or what you don't sacrifice becomes the weight you carry for the rest of your life. So ask yourself, is that comfort really worth it? Is your little convenience today worth a lifetime of wondering what you could have been? Because if you think regret don't cost, you ain't been broke in your soul yet. I remember being a kid in Miami. Heat beating down on your back like it was personal, sirens in the background like it was a soundtrack to survival, and the only thing louder than the chaos outside was the chaos in my home. My mama kept us in church, yeah. Dressed up, clapping hands, shouting hallelujah, but right before service, she'd curse my daddy out like he wasn't even human. That's the house I grew up in. 1 minute, scripture, the next minute, war. And that war taught me one thing. Pain lives in silence. Nobody told me how to process it, how to fight it, how to escape it. You just lived in it. But I had an OG, Rady. This man saw something in me before I did. He ain't sugarcoated, he ain't coddle me, he told me straight, don't be like me, don't let the streets write your obituary. And I didn't always listen. I got offered to sell weed in school by my boy Terrence, and for a second, the money looked good, real good. $300, $500 a week, that's heaven to a broke kid watching his parents argue over bills. But something inside me, it wasn't logic, it was survival. Something said, this ain't the way. I told my mama, and she made it real clear. That boy wasn't welcome anymore. No questions, no chances. That decision, that moment, it cost me a friendship, but it gave me my future. That's sacrifice, that's pain. But that pain passed. If I'd said yes, if I'd played the game like everyone else, I might not be here right now. Might have ended up locked up, strung out, or 6 feet under like so many others. That's regret. You gotta choose your hurt. And I chose the one that came with purpose. Let me ask you something real. Where in your life are you half-stepping right now? Where are you choosing comfort over commitment? Where are you showing up like a ghost? Present, but not powerful. You keep telling yourself you're trying, but trying is a maybe in disguise. It's a way to fail politely. Let's be real, trying ain't doing. You either do the work or you don't. Period. So why you still playing like time ain't ticking? Like you got forever to become who you said you would? You don't. None of us do. You think you're waiting for the right moment, but what you're really doing is hiding. Hiding behind fear, behind excuses, behind your potential. And let me tell you something about potential. Potential is a seductive lie. It'll whisper in your ear that you're special, that you're different, that you're destined. But if you don't move, it don't mean shit. If you don't put pain in now, you will live with pain forever. The kind that eats you from the inside, the kind that shows up at 2 a.m. when you can't sleep, whispering, you had a chance and you blew it. This ain't a pep talk. This ain't motivation. This is transformation, but only if you're ready to stop playing. You want different, move different, you want to be built different, Then stop thinking like the rest. Start doing what hurts. Start sacrificing for what matters. Because that version of you keep dreaming about, he's not coming to save you. You have to become him. Brick by brick, sacrifice by sacrifice, choice by choice. So here's the real question. Are you done playing games with your future? Or are you going to keep dancing with regret until it buries you? You've been lied to over and over again by the same system that tells you to chase happiness, avoid pain, and wait for permission. Society sold you a version of success that's soft, safe, and sanitized. It told you to get a good job, play it cool, stay in line, smile when you're miserable, and call that a life. But what it really gave you was a cage with velvet walls. They said you shouldn't burn out, shouldn't push too hard, shouldn't sacrifice sleep, shouldn't skip the fun to build your future. Balance, they said. But balance for what? Mediocrity? Quiet desperation? A lukewarm life filled with what ifs? Nah, I'm not buying that, and you shouldn't either. You were never meant to live soft. You were built to grind, to sweat, to bleed for something bigger than likes, clout, or comfort. The real ones, they don't wait on motivation. They build habits. They don't chase vibes. They chase results. They don't hope for opportunities. They create them through sacrifice. That's what society won't tell you, because it profits off your procrastination. It feeds on your fear, your indecision, your addiction to comfort. And when you wake up at 50, realizing you played by their rules and still lost, guess who ain't gonna be there to pick up the pieces? Not your job, not your followers, not your fake friends who said, take it easy. You gotta break that programming now, right now, or you'll end up exactly where they want you. Quiet, controlled, and forgettable. And you weren't born to be forgettable. You were born to shake the fucking world, but only if you stop buying the lies and start paying the price. So let me ask you this. Who's been lying to you the loudest? And when are you gonna shut them up with your actions? You wanna know the real difference between the ones who win and the ones who keep watching? It ain't luck, it ain't talent, it damn sure ain't who had it easy. It's mindset, plain and simple, that's it. Winners don't wait to feel ready. They move while they're scared, while they're broke, while they're bleeding. Losers, they wait for a sign, they wait for a mentor, a miracle, a moment, and while they're waiting, life is passing them by like a freight train with no brakes. You think champions wake up feeling like beasts every morning? Hell no. They drag themselves out of bed on discipline, not dopamine. They don't ask if it's convenient. They decide it's necessary. That's the shift. That's the edge. That's the separation. The loser says, I'll do it when I feel better. The winner says, I'll feel better after I do it. See the difference? One's addicted to emotion, the other is married to execution. And the crazy part, it's a choice. Every single day, you choose whether you'll operate like a warrior or a worrier. You choose if today's gonna be another excuse or a new standard. That gap between where you are and where you want to be, it's filled with thoughts and only thoughts. You fix your thoughts, you fix your future. Simple, not easy. But it ain't supposed to be easy. That's the test. That's why most people fold, because they don't believe they can outwork their doubt. But I'm here to tell you, you can. And the second you realize it, your whole life changes. You stop reacting and you start rebuilding. Not when you're ready, not when life calms down. Now, because winners don't need perfect conditions. They just need a reason. You want to change your life? Then change how you see it. That's it. Perspective ain't just a word, it's the steering wheel of your mind. And if you're pointing it at the wall, don't be surprised when you keep crashing into pain, disappointment, and dead ends. Most of y'all think the struggle means you're doing something wrong. Nah, the struggle is the assignment. The obstacle is the classroom. The pain, that's your professor. And until you shift how you see it, you'll keep quitting the course before the breakthrough shows up. Think about it. What if the thing you're complaining about is the thing that's building you? What if the delay is actually preparation? What if the failure wasn't punishment, but a blueprint with your name on it. See, I used to think setbacks were signs to stop. But now I see them as signs to lean in harder, grind deeper, sharpen the sword. Because pressure ain't personal, it's process. And most people never get to success because they keep dodging the very thing designed to make them worthy of it. You have to train your brain to flip the script. Start saying thank you for closed doors, broken hearts, missed chances, because they're rerouting you to the real thing. The moment you stop asking why me and start asking what is this building in me, that's the moment everything starts to shift. That's when you stop blaming life and start leading it. And yeah, it takes effort, focus, repetition, but I promise you, once you see pain differently, it loses its power to break you. It just becomes a tool, a weapon, a mirror. And what you see in that mirror, that's what you're really made of. Most people ain't stuck because they're lazy. They're stuck because they're scared. Scared of change, scared of judgment, scared of failing in front of people they're trying to impress. So what do? They play small, they play safe, and they stay exactly where they are, lying to themselves like it's strategy, but deep down, they know the truth. They're running from growth because growth hurts, and they'd rather stay in a comfortable hell than risk walking into an uncomfortable heaven. And the craziest part? They wear their chains like jewelry. They brag about how busy they are, how tired they are, how hard their life is. Like struggle is a badge of honor instead of a sign that they need to level the hell up. You ever meet someone who defends their limitations like it's their job? I'm just not built like that. I've always been this way. It's too late for me. Nah, that's not truth. That's trauma talking. You've been conditioned to believe that survival is all you deserve. But you weren't born just to pay bills and die. You were born to evolve. You were born to outgrow the old version of you. But you can't do that if you keep watering weeds and calling it a garden. You want to know why you're stuck? It's not your job, it's not your parents, it's not your past. It's the story you keep telling yourself. That inner monologue that says, you can't, you won't, you're not enough. That's the real villain, and it won't shut up until you prove it wrong, daily. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, silence over gossip, action over fear, you chip away at that story, and one day you wake up free. But only if you stop clinging to the chains you've been calling comfort. Let me keep it real with you. Your emotions are not facts, they're signals, and most of y'all out here treating emotions like truth, reacting to every wave, every doubt, every bad mood like it's gospel. That's why you're stuck. That's why you're losing. Because you haven't learned to master your emotional state. You serve it, and winners don't serve emotion. They command it. Emotions are like wild horses, powerful as hell, but only dangerous if you don't know how to ride them. So what's the game? Emotional control. Not suppression, not faking. Control. That means feeling it, but not feeding it. That means when fear creeps in, you talk back. When anger rises, you redirect it. When sadness shows up, you acknowledge it, but you don't unpack and live there. You get what I'm saying? Because if you let your feelings run the show, you'll burn bridges, quit too early, miss opportunities, and sabotage your own greatness. All because of a moment, one moment. You need a system, not a reaction. You need breath work, routines, sleep discipline, physical movement, internal check-ins, because emotional control isn't sexy, but it's the realest flex. You ever see someone walk into chaos with calm in their eyes? That's power. That's how leaders are made. That's how storms are tamed. And if you can learn to stay cool when everything's falling apart, you've already won. Because while everyone else is panicking, freezing, hiding, or running, you're the one building. Focused, clear, dangerous. So stop reacting like a puppet and start leading like a king. Emotional control is the key that unlocks every damn door in your life, but only if you choose to grab the handle. If you really want to change your life, stop lying to yourself. Brutally, honestly, unapologetically, look in the mirror and call it what it is. Stop sugarcoating your habits, your effort, your mindset, because that version of you that's always making excuses, always about to, always talking more than doing. He's the reason you're stuck. You want growth? Cool. Then you need to audit yourself like your future depends on it. Because it does. And here's what that audit looks like. What time do you wake up? What do you consume? Food, content, energy? What kind of people are in your circle? Builders or complainers? How do you respond to adversity? Panic or pivot? Don't just ask once. Ask daily. Ask hourly. Then act on it. Because awareness without action is a trap. Most of y'all love the feeling of clarity, but hate the responsibility that comes with it. You hear truth, nod your head, post a quote, and then go right back to doing nothing. That ain't execution. That's entertainment. Execution means building systems. It means planning your day the night before. It means setting targets and reviewing your progress without mercy. It means tracking your workouts, tracking your money, tracking your energy. It's not just hustling harder. It's moving smarter, cleaner, sharper, and no, it's not fun. No, it's not cute. But that boring grind, that quiet repetition, that's what separates you from the clowns who keep starting and stopping until life passes them by. So be ruthless, be surgical, be relentless, because the version of you that wins, he ain't built by accident, he's built by assessment and execution. Half effort will get you half results, if you're lucky. And most of y'all, you're living in half committed, half focused, half-hearted, wondering why you keep getting played by life. It's because you never went all in. You dipped your toe in, got cold, and ran back to comfort like it was gonna save you. But comfort don't save, it sedates. And the dream you keep saying you want, it's on the other side of discomfort, sacrifice, and total immersion. You can't tiptoe into greatness. You either cannonball into it or sit on the sidelines watching everyone else eat while you starve off potential. Going all in means cutting the safety net. It means deciding this is it. No plan B, no fallback, no, if it doesn't work, I'll just... Because that kind of language tells your brain it's okay to quit. And I don't care how talented you are. If you've got a back door, you'll use it. Every damn time. Going all in means you show up before the lights turn on, and you're still swinging after they cut off. It means the grind becomes your lifestyle, not your phase. It means betting on yourself so hard, even when it's scary, even when it's lonely, even when no one believes in you. You move anyway. That's what makes you built different. You're not built different because it sounds cool on a hoodie. You're built different because you walk through fire with purpose. You lean into pain. You bury distractions. You push past enough and demand everything. So stop flirting with your goals like it's a maybe, and marry that vision like your legacy depends on it. Because it does. Mental toughness ain't about acting hard, puffing your chest, or barking loud when things are easy. Nah, it's about who the hell you become when everything goes sideways. When your back's against the wall, when nobody claps, when the results don't match the effort, and you still get up swinging. That's toughness. You want to know what separates the great from the average? It ain't genetics, it ain't motivation, it's the refusal to fold when most would flinch. Relentless mental toughness means you don't need applause to stay locked in. It means you're built to keep showing up when there's no evidence it's working yet. It means you're not controlled by mood, by setbacks, by haters, by slow progress. You're controlled by purpose, mission, identity. See, identity is everything. When you decide you're a finisher, you stop quitting. When you decide you're a leader, you stop hiding. When you decide you're unstoppable, every hit you take becomes training. You think I ain't been through it? I've been laughed at, doubted, hit rock bottom, betrayed, broken, but I kept showing up. Not because I felt strong, but because I chose to be. Every time life swung on me, I tightened my stance, raised my chin, and said, is that all you got? And if you want to win, you better find that level, that built different level, Where toughness ain't an option, it's the requirement. Because life doesn't care about your feelings. Life doesn't hand out trophies for almost, but it does reward the ones who refuse to fold. So build that mindset, sharpen it daily, and when the pressure rises, you rise harder. You want real results? Then you need to kill your excuses and build a no matter what mindset. That means you don't show up if you feel like it. You show up because you said you would, period. That means rain, snow, sickness, betrayal, heartbreak, doesn't matter. Winners don't just try, they decide, they commit, they execute, no matter what. And don't confuse that with motivation. Motivation is a mood, commitment is a code, and when your life runs on code, not feelings, that's when the game changes. Look around, most people quit as soon as it gets hard, as soon as it's not convenient, as soon as they don't get instant results. That ain't discipline, that's delusion. You think your dream is just gonna sit there politely waiting for you to feel inspired? Nah, it's either being built or buried every single day. You've gotta wake up with the mindset that says, I do this whether I'm tired, overwhelmed, sad, broke, misunderstood, or unsupported. Because greatness don't care about your emotional state. It just asks one thing, did you show up? And if the answer's no, then you ain't serious. You're just another person with a wish list and weak habits. But if the answer's yes, again and again and again, even when it's ugly, even when it's lonely, that's when life starts bending. That's when doors start opening. That's when momentum stacks. Because the world respects one thing, consistency under pressure. So write it on your soul. No matter what, that's how you win. That's how you separate. That's how you become a damn force. Pressure don't break winners, it reveals them. That heat you feel, that stress, that weight, that anxiety in your chest when the deadlines close, the stakes are high, and the spotlight's on, that's the gym for your soul. That's where champions are made. Everybody wants to win until pressure shows up. Then they fold, blame, disappear. But winners, we breathe through it. We lean into it. Because pressure is proof that what you're doing matters. Diamonds don't form without it. Champions don't rise without it. And if you think you're gonna make an impact without learning how to hold the line under fire, you're not ready yet. See, most folks treat pressure like a problem, when it's actually preparation. It's the testing ground for your grit. It's the refiner's fire for your character. And the ones who handle it best, they don't panic, they pivot, they don't react, they respond. You gotta train for that. That means putting yourself in tough rooms on purpose. That means choosing hard things on your own before life forces your hand. That means practicing calm when the storm hits. Don't wait till the moment comes. Become the moment. Be the one everyone else looks to when the room's shaking. That's leadership. That's impact. That's the built different standard. And the wild part, pressure don't go away. When you level up, it multiplies. But so does your capacity. So does your strength. So instead of running from it, run toward it. Because every time you beat pressure, you prove to yourself and the world that you're not just in the fight, you are the fight. That voice in your head that says you're not smart enough, you're too old, you're not ready, you're too broken. Yeah, that voice is a liar. And the problem, most of y'all been listening to that lie so long, you started calling it your truth. But it ain't. It's a script, a recycled, outdated, corrupted-ass script written by fear, failure, and your past. And it's time to burn it. Because those beliefs, they're not facts. They're fences. They were built to keep you from growing, from stretching, from becoming the version of yourself that scares the hell out of your insecurities. Let me tell you something. Your mind is a battlefield, and if you don't fight for control, you'll lose to default. You'll shrink when you should expand. You'll settle when you should soar. You'll say, that's just the way I am, when you should be rewriting the damn story. But here's the truth. Beliefs can be broken, shattered, replaced. All it takes is a decision backed by action. You've got to question everything that's been holding you back. Who told you that you weren't enough? Who told you that success wasn't for people like you? Who convinced you to play small and call it humility? Whoever it was, they don't get to drive anymore. You do. So here's the move. Grab one belief that's been running your life and prove it wrong today, not next week, not after the seminar, not when you feel confident. Now, take the action your old self said was impossible. And when it works, even a little, you just put a crack in the wall. Keep swinging, one belief at a time, until nothing limits you but vision. Fear ain't the enemy, the way you treat it is. Doubt ain't a death sentence unless you let it drive. See, most people think fear is a stop sign, when really it's a spotlight shining on the very thing you're supposed to face. That fear, it's GPS for growth. It's pointing to where your next breakthrough lives. But instead of running to it, you keep running from it, talking yourself out of the very moves that would change your life. And doubt, man, doubt is just fear wearing a suit, trying to sound logical, trying to keep you safe, trying to convince you to stay small so you never feel pain. But here's the plot twist. The longer you listen to it, the bigger it gets. Doubt grows in silence. Fear multiplies in procrastination. The more you avoid action, the more powerful those voices become. But the second you move, even scared, even shaky, even uncertain, they start to shrink. The cure for fear isn't more thinking, it's doing. The cure for doubt ain't overanalyzing, it's executing anyway. And don't get it twisted. Courage ain't the absence of fear. It's making moves with it, riding shotgun and saying, I hear you, but you don't steer. And you know what else? That version of you who already did the thing you're scared of, he already exists. He's just waiting on you to catch up. So when fear shows up, good. That means you're headed in the right direction. When doubt whispers, good. That means you're close to something worth having. Don't back down, don't hesitate, move scared, move anyway. And the day you do that consistently is the day fear stops being a prison and becomes your launch pad. Failure ain't your enemy. It's your instructor. And the sooner you stop fearing it and start studying it, the faster you evolve. But most people, they treat failure like it's a final sentence, like it's proof they weren't good enough. Nah, failure is feedback. It's intel. It's a GPS signal that says, hey, this ain't the path, but you're damn close. You only lose when you ignore it. You only stay stuck when you personalize it. Failure ain't who you are. It's what happened. And what happened is supposed to inform you, not define you. Let me be real. Some of the biggest wins in my life came right after I got smacked down, came after I got embarrassed, came after I had to face myself in the dark and ask, what now? That's where the built different mindset is forged, not in the wins, in the wounds, in the rejections, in the quiet moments where you're alone with the pieces. See, anybody can keep going when it's easy, but the ones who build legacies, they keep going when the scoreboard's ugly, when the crowd walks out, when it looks like nothing's working. They learn, they adjust, they sharpen the blade. Failure ain't punishment, it's preparation. You needed that no, that loss, that mistake to become who you're about to be. So don't hide from failure. Hunt it. Go take the shots. Go break things. Go try. Go fail. Then go again. Because if you can look failure in the face and say, you're just a lesson, then there's nothing this world can throw at you that you can't bounce back from stronger. Enough talking. Enough thinking. Enough some days. What are you gonna do today? Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when the timing's right or when you feel more motivated. Today. Because every time you say, I'll start later, you're signing a contract with regret. And trust me, regret don't forget. It keeps receipts. It pulls up at night when your dreams are trying to breathe and reminds you of everything you didn't do. So let's kill the excuses right now. I'm too tired. So what? Winners work tired. I don't know where to start. Start anywhere. I'm scared. Good. That means it's worth doing. You want a different life? Make a different move. And don't confuse busy with building. This ain't about checking off to-do lists, it's about checking in with your mission. So stop hiding in preparation and start attacking with execution. You say you want freedom, purpose, confidence, legacy. Cool, prove it. With your schedule, with your habits, with your focus. If I looked at your last 7 days, would your life show signs of hunger or hesitation? Would I see a fire or a flicker? Don't answer with words, answer with action. You owe it to your future, to your family, to the version of you that's still buried under fear and procrastination. Today is a gift, but it's also a test. What you do with it determines everything that comes next. So what's it gonna be? More excuses? Or your first step toward becoming unrecognizable to the old you? Decide. Move. Today, one decision can flip your whole life. I ain't exaggerating. I mean it. One real decision. Not a wish, not a half-hearted maybe, not that soft I'll try. A decision where you cut off every other option and commit. That's where the shift happens. That's the moment the old version of you dies and the new one starts breathing. See, we like to think change is slow. That transformation takes years. But it doesn't. It takes one bold move, one clean break, one I'm done with this version of me. That's the spark, that's the ignition, everything else flows from that. You ever notice how fast life can spiral after one bad decision? Same goes for one powerful one. Choose the gym over the snooze button. Choose discipline over distraction. Choose your dream over your damn doubts. And that ripple becomes momentum. That momentum becomes identity. That identity becomes legacy. But it all starts with a decision. And yeah, it's scary. You're giving up what's familiar, what's easy, what's comfortable. But guess what? Everything you want lives on the other side of that fear. And if you don't decide now, that moment slips through your fingers and tomorrow looks just like yesterday until you wake up one day and realize you traded a lifetime of potential for a lifetime of safety. Don't let that be your story. Choose, commit, and don't look back, because one powerful decision won't just change your day, it'll rewrite your future. So what's it gonna be? Fold like always? Or finally draw the line and say, I'm done playing small? Your move? There is no perfect moment. Let me say that again. There is no perfect moment. And if you keep waiting for one, life will pass you by so smooth, so quiet, you won't even realize you missed your shot until it's way too late. You're not stuck because of your circumstances. You're stuck because you keep lying to yourself with that weak-ass phrase, I'll start when what? When you're less tired, when the kids are grown, when the job's easier, when you feel ready. You really think your dream is gonna hold its breath waiting on you? Nah, life don't care about your delay. Time keeps ticking, opportunities keep moving, and the difference between the ones who build empires and the ones who stay broke and bitter is who had the guts to move anyway. Action beats perfection every time. The winners, they launch messy, they show up scared, they take the shot with shaky hands, and every single time they move, they learn, they level up, they grow. You can't grow stuck in neutral. You can't win while waiting. And that perfect moment you keep fantasizing about, that's just fear in disguise, fear of failing, fear of looking stupid, fear of change. But here's what's real. Every second you hesitate, you lose ground. So either you own your timeline or your excuses will. Stop stalling. Stop overthinking. Stop acting like hesitation is strategy. It's not. It's self-sabotage. You're either moving forward or you're falling behind. There is no pause button on destiny. So if you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Go, now. No more delays, no more perfect timing, just perfect urgency. Being built different ain't something you're born with. It's something you decide. Nobody handed it to me. Nobody passed it down like some golden gene. I chose it. Chose to suffer on purpose, chose to train when others slept, chose to eat discipline for breakfast and grind through the pain. You want to know the real secret? The ones you admire, the ones who win, they bleed just like you, they doubt themselves just like you, they hurt, they cry, they get tired just like you, but they decide every single day to move anyway, to execute anyway, to rise anyway. And that decision, that choice, that's the difference between living average and becoming unstoppable. You weren't cursed. You weren't left behind. You've just been choosing comfort over character, ease over elevation, familiarity over greatness. But here's the truth. You don't need permission to flip the switch. You don't need validation to go hard. You don't need to wait until it's all lined up to step into who you were born to be. You just need one choice, and then another, and then another. Built different is earned. In the early mornings, in the lonely reps, in the days you don't want to show up, but do anyway. It's forged in fire, in failure, in fatigue, and every single time you say, nah, I'm not folding today, you lay another brick. And one day, you'll look up and realize you built something legendary, not because you were gifted, but because you refused to quit. Some people wait, some people wish, some people work. So which one are you? Don't rush past this moment. Sit in it. Breathe in everything you just heard. Everything you felt in your chest, everything that hit you in your gut, everything that sounded like I was talking directly to you. 'Cause I was. This ain't background noise. This ain't just another motivational speech you forget in 5 minutes. This is the mirror. This is the reminder. This is the line in the sand. You've got a choice now. Right here, right now. You can keep scrolling, keep making excuses, keep pretending tomorrow is guaranteed, or you can move, you can build. You can finally become the one you keep seeing in your mind when no one's watching. I ain't here to entertain you. I'm here to wake you up. This is a call to war against every weak version of yourself you've ever tolerated. And I don't care where you've been. I don't care how many times you failed. I don't care who doubted you or what you lost. You're still breathing. That means it ain't over. That means the game is still being written. But now you gotta decide if you're gonna write that next chapter with fire in your chest or fear in your voice. Nobody can make that move for you. Not your friends, not your mama, not me. Just you. This right here, this is the moment you'll remember. Years from now, you'll either say, that's the day I flipped the switch, or that's the day I heard the truth and did nothing. So slow down, lock in, let it sink in deep, because if you really heard what I said, you already know what time it is. It's go time. Here's the hardest truth of all. Nobody's coming to save you. Not your parents, not your partner, not your boss, not your favorite influencer, not even God, if you won't move. You can pray, manifest, meditate, vision board, speak affirmations all day, but if you don't act, if you don't bleed for it, if you don't burn for it, nothing changes. You stay stuck in the same cycle, with the same struggles, living the same story, different year, same pain, and you'll dress it up. You'll say, I'm just figuring things out. You'll say, I'm working on me. But deep down, you'll know you're hiding, playing it safe, avoiding the sacrifice, and life don't reward safety. It rewards savages. It rewards the ones who walk through hell smiling, the ones who hear fear knocking and open the door swinging, the ones who don't wait for the pain to go away. They build through it. That's what makes you built different. Not your looks, not your status, not your followers, your decisions, your discipline, your willingness to suffer now so your future can breathe. So yeah, it's hard. It's supposed to be. But here's the kicker. It's also simple. Not easy, but simple. Show up every damn day. Fight every damn day. And when it gets dark, you shine. When it gets lonely, you grind. When it gets heavy, you carry it anyway, because that's the price. That's the path. That's the truth nobody wants to admit. But now you know. And now, you can never unknow it. And let that sit. Let it echo. Let it change you.